Yo.
Welcome back, football mezzanine fans. We got an episode where we're going to be doing a summer recap and a season preview for the Spurs Tottenham. Getting into it, very quiet for Tottenham this summer. In fact, it they broke a record. Probably not the greatest record, but they were the first team to in a summer have no transfers at all,
Yeah.
zero coming in, players wise. And I know a big part of that accounts because they do have a stadium that they've been trying to pay for, so that's a big one, but still a little disappointing on their end. I was hoping to see a couple. I know they were pretty big rumors about Jack Grealish coming in. It would have been nice to see that for them, but other than that, they at least signed Harry Kane down to contract extension, so good news for them. Other than that, a little disappointing. What do you guys think?
Okay, I still think they're going to finish in the top four despite not getting anywhere. I still think they're going to have a really good season. I want to see them take that next step. And it seems like every season they're just a little bit short of winning the title or like a little bit short of being a real contender. They've had the same star players for the past 4 or 5 seasons now. They have Kane, they have Eriksson, they have Ali.
They're all young players, though.
But they've been young for a while, and they're getting into their
Yeah.
mid-20s now, and I feel like if they don't win silverware soon, for
They're
their
gonna be
own good,
looking
they
for a
should
move elsewhere.
they
Yeah.
should be.
Oh, yeah, but you went...
Like, good for them, though. They got Harry Kane on a new deal this summer, which is a massive, massive, like, contract. Feat, yeah. I thought Real Madrid might have gone for Kane this summer, but they got that sorted out. And I guess you can be sympathetic because they paid like $1 billion for a new stadium. That's a lot of money. But I think they still have a really, really solid team. And it's not going anywhere. They're going to have another solid year, in my opinion. Just because they didn't sign any new players does not mean they're going to drop out. But
I mean,
still
they had
think,
one major signing. They signed the stadium, but that's as far as they're getting.
I look at
Yeah.
it this way for Spurs. They've kept their team intact, which is great for them. They're all still young. They're still going to be in their prime. So they're essentially just building off of what they have last season. Unfortunately, they didn't pick really anyone up at all, which is the first time in 15 years as far as the Premier League goes. But the team itself, though, the core is there. Everything's set up. I expect at least a top 4 finish from them. I think they'll probably come in around the 4th place, give or take 1 peg on either side.
yeah.
Champions League, they're well set for as well.
I'd like to see
I
them
wanted
do
to
well.
see just a couple of signings, just some good players that kind of would keep them going, but that unfortunately didn't happen. That being said, who knows, maybe the winner, they'll pick up someone. But at least they paid off. They're done. Their stadium's all set up. Now they don't have to worry about that and saving any money. So
Yeah, just, like a marquee signing always lifts the spirits, always keeps the players on their toes. And I feel like if anything would be their downfall, it would be that. Like, it's been the same team for the past 3 years, and with every team replenishing and refreshing and seeing changes, it really gives them that extra edge because everyone's on their toes. With Spurs, I fear that if that's not the case, that could be their downfall.
to be fair, it was a very quiet season of transfers generally for everyone because the prices were all very inflated. So they didn't really need to keep up with anyone as far as spending a huge amount of money, and those who did, I mean, you
I
could
don't know,
argue
man,
that
like-
they overpaid, with the exception of Liverpool, but we'll get to them in another video. The fact that they signed and kept Harry Kane, though, that's huge for me. The fact that he didn't go to Real Madrid, which a lot of people were expecting, even myself, I was kind of potentially thinking that was a credible option, but the fact that they signed him, at least they're going to make sure if he does go, they're going to get a lot of money for him.
Yeah. I just keep coming back to the fact that they've been almost there for the past, 5 years. I just like to see them do a bit more. But yeah,
I mean,
the
even
stadium
an
is a
FA
big
Cup or a
factor.
League Cup would be better than what they have right now because they had back-to-back FA Cup finals. I think they had their
Yeah.
last success was the 2007-8 League Cup,
Mm-hmm.
which is even worse than Liverpool, and that's saying something. But
Yeah. They have such a great group of players here. I really think it's one of the best Spurs teams in their history.
Oh, yeah,
And it'd be
for
kind of
sure.
sad if they don't win anything with it, is kind of what I mean. So
Yeah.
I hope for their sake that they do, push on with this team and do something great with this group of players.
So
Also, I
as-
feel that
oh.
if Bale doesn't perform this season for Madrid, they
Okay,
could come
no,
knocking.
no, that's not happening.
Bale back to Tottenham.
That's not happening.
No, I meant not Bale back to Tottenham, but Harry Kane. The other way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I could. You know what? I can see that actually. That's probably a pretty good guess. But as far as the just expectations for the season and Champions League, what do you guys place them in? Where do you think they're gonna land?
I'm gonna go for fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah.
How about
I'm
you,
gonna go for
Edgar?
fifth.
Fifth? Okay. I see. I really think a fourth place, maybe even a third for them. They really kept the same team. They're young. They kept Pochettino. They have a good team. I think they're underrated compared to where people think they are. You know what? I value them highly as far as in regard. So, you know what? A third, fourth. Like I said, I think realistically, I'm gonna put them in kind of like a fourth position, and they have like a plus or minus one on either side. But how do you think Champions League? Realistically, where do you think at least they'll land in the round, highest round?
They should get out of the group, but that's as far as they're going.
Yo, also quick mention about Son. You guys hear how he has to go and win a gold medal for South Korea?
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, he has to leave for 2 years for military service?
What?
Yeah,
that's
so
the thing.
it's so stupid. But it's the thing where in South Korea, before the age of 27, unless you're like an extraordinary athlete who's won like a gold medal specifically, you have to give 2 years of military service. So
Wow.
if Son doesn't win the gold medal in the Asia Cup games or something over the next month with South Korea, Tottenham are going to lose him for 2 years.
Holy.
It's
Well
just, like,
then.
it's kind of ridiculous for me. Like, if your player is playing in the Premier League, like, how is that not a big enough?
Yeah, I know. right?
Apparently, it's not as good as a gold medal.
Yeah, the
In
Asia
like
Cup,
discus throwing or something.
the Asian Games, yeah, bigger than the Premier League.
All right, well, we'll see what happens there. Champions League wise, I'm going to put them at guaranteed quarterfinals. I would be very surprised if they didn't make quarters.
Really?
Semis is
Interesting.
more of an aspiration, I think, on that end, just because it really does come down to experience, and I think they have some, but they still need a little bit more just to really kick them into that level. So
I think even guaranteeing quarters would be a bit much, because
I'd say round of 16 for sure.
Yeah,
And then they'll get out of the group, but
thing is they had so many players. In fact, they had the most players, I think, in up to like the semifinals of the World Cup.
yeah.
So their players have a lot of big game experience. Fatigue might also be a factor. Who knows?
anyways, that is your Spurs recap of the summer and the preview for the season. If you're a Spurs fan, hopefully pans out for you guys. Thanks for watching, or thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.